joining us today. I will start from a short introduction. My name is Sima Bloch. I joined Primo product team 2 months ago as a product manager. While I may be new in Primo, I'm working in Exlibris for the last 11 years. Before this role, I had the privilege to serve as product manager for Campus M. I'm glad to be here with you and review together the Primo VE first quarter of 2024's highlight. Feel free to reach out for any question, concern, idea. My email will be displayed on the last slide. I will be really happy to hear from you. And now let's start. First of all, the release schedule. On Sunday, January 21, we had the sandbox installation. 2 weeks from this point, we will have the production installation. This will take place on February 11. An important note for the Primo VE customers, we executed the semi-annual indexing. In this slide, you can see the list of highlights of February release highlights. On the left side, you can see the ones that are relevant for Primo VE, and on the right side, you can see the ones that are relevant for both Primo and Primo VE. Most of those items came from you, from our community. You can see it. Many of the ideas of the enhancements came from the ideas exchange and from NERS. So thank you for that. We value your feedback. We thank you for helping us making Primo a better product thanks to your feedback. And now let's dive into the details. The first feature is the Primo Showcase tool. The Primo Showcase tool is a visual carousel that can assist you market your resources. In any external website. It can be on your faculty site, and it can be on your university site. The Primo Showcase can help you can help you promote your content, encourage exploration and traffic from external sites into your library. Two examples of use cases where you can use the showcase is, for example, an exhibition that is taking place in your library, or promoting an author that coming from the university. I mentioned here the 3 steps that you need to take in order to embed the carousel. The first one is adding your domain into the allowed domains mapping table in order to avoid cross domains. The second step is downloading the JavaScript that we provide. You will see it in a few minutes, the link to it, and save it on the server. And the last step is embedding the HTML code in the HTML code of the relevant page. Now let's see, we created a technical blog for it. Over here, you can see the steps that I just mentioned, but of course more in depth. And we have here a live demo of the showcase. You can design it according to your requirements and according to your needs with CSS changes. It can be tailored according to your requirements, of course. Behind the carousel stands a query in Primo with the filters, conditions, facets, standard Primo query. And the first 10 results will be included in the showcase. I'm going to close it now. And let's review the next item. The next enhancement is the get it behavior when all items belong to the same location. Currently, when there is a single location, the patron receives in the get it directly the list of items. We actually skip the location because it's one location. We got feedback from customers that some customers would like to provide the same view, the same experience for their patrons both when there is one location and when there is more than one location. Therefore, we added a new configuration that allows you to change this behavior. With this new configuration, you will be able to change it, and then the patron will get the location first, and only then by clicking on the location, he will get to the items level, to the items list, sorry. The next enhancement is about addition of a new consent message to the Get It Other. A patron in fulfillment network can submit a request in another institution. We provide a register button that when the patron clicks on this button, their personal details are being shared with the other institution, in order, of course, to calculate the terms of use and policies to see if the patron can request this item and in which terms. From now on, for privacy matters, we are going to show this consent message, as you can see on the screen. Once the patron clicks on the confirm, the pop-up will not show again. The next enhancement is about adding HTML tags into labels. We added to a structured list, to a closed list of labels, the ability to add tags inside the description of the labels. We worked closely with the Primo working group in order to create this list. And this will be split into two phases. The first phase is being released now in February, and the next phase will be released in the second half of 2024. Here in the screen, you can see an example where I edited the label of the login label. The description of the login label on the top, on the yellow ribbon, and I edited a link out for the text click for help. This can be done for more examples, such as the disclaimer and error messages. You can see the full list of those labels that we worked on in the documentation and in the release notes. The next enhancement is about the SMS communication. A while ago, we added in Alma the indication whether a patron would like to get SMS communication, SMS messages from Alma, meaning Alma letters will be sent also with SMS, in SMS messages. What we added now in February release is the same indication, but in Primo. The patron will be able to check or uncheck this checkbox and indicate whether they would like to get SMS communication or not. Few releases ago, we added the shared digital resources customer parameter. This parameter controls the sharing in consortium of the digital resources. It contains two aspects. Digital resources can be either local, coming from Alma, or external. We got feedback from customers asking us not to share the external ones, because when the resources are not free, it becomes more challenging. And that's why we added another parameter. You can see the second parameter here in the table, the share external resources parameter. And this new parameter will indicate whether you would like to share, whether institutions would like to share digital external resources. So the existing parameter controls the local resources, and the new one controls the external resources. An important note that if you already worked with the shared digital resources, if you enabled it, and you would like not to share external resources, you will need, once you the share external resources is set to false by default, you will need to reload or re-index your data. The next enhancement is relevant for both Primo and Primo VE. In the last year, we had a big project of composing a control vocabulary for subjects. The reason for this project was feedback that we are getting from customers about subjects coming from CDI vendors, which are duplicative, inconsistent, not normalized. So in order to avoid this noise and duplication, we composed a control vocabulary of subjects. We took it from Library of Congress and from Mesh. And starting from February release, it will be, of course, per configuration. You will be the system behavior per this new configuration will be the following. Once a subject is coming back from a CDI vendor, we will try to find the match in the subject's control vocabulary. Once a match is being found behind the scenes, it will be included in the subject section. If a match was not found, we will add it to keywords. Keyword section is also searchable. It is being indexed. This functionality is not being enabled by default. You will need to enable it. And of course, before that, you can test it. You can test it on production with concatenating the following parameter. You can see it on the bottom, the search CDI parameter into the URL. Another important note is that this is the first iteration of the CDI subjects normalization, which was focused on the English vocabularies. We do plan to add in the future more vocabularies. The last item for February release highlights is the gradual transition to quick links. Libraries often have access to several platforms for the same item. What we came to solve with quick links is showing the patron only one link per type, one for PDF and one for HTML. So the flow for the patron will be more streamlined and easy. For patrons that do want to see the full list of links, they will still be able to do that by going to the full record view. Under the View section, they will get the full list of links. On February, now in this release, we added an informative customer parameter, the auto switch quick links, which is enabled. For customers, just a second, I'll describe the full flow. So this is on February. This is only informative. On May, for customers that didn't change this parameter, we will enable the quick links. We are doing it now because we already have 700 customers that provided good feedback about the quick links, that went live with it and provided good feedback. We have 42 vendors that covers around 1.5 billion of articles. And that's why we wanted at this phase to encourage our customers that do not read all the documentation and are to start working with the quick links. You can see the configuration for it on the left side. Before I move on to the sneak peek of May, Israel, Amy, do you have any comments, addition? Would you like to add something? Okay, so if not, I will jump to sneak peek of May release. Two out of more of the enhancements that we are going to add in May. The first one is for consortium. Institutions allow consortium members to see local extension fields. Until now, extension fields were not shared among the different institutions. Starting from May, we will add a configuration on the network zone institution that will allow the network zone to decide which local extension fields, which 900 fields, will be shared among the different consortium institutions. The next feature that we are going to release in May, and I guess many customers are waiting for, is the link data person entity. We added an entity, a new entity, person entity, which is based on Library of Congress data enriched with Wikidata. And this person entity is going to accompany the user journey. Starting on the left, you can see the autocomplete functionality where new suggestions of persons will be displayed. The next mockup is the info card. Once a search is being executed, on the right side, you will see few info cards that are related to this search. And the right mockup is the full person page. You will get to the full person page from within the autocomplete suggestions or from the info cards. On the full person page, you will see the information about this person together with linked, related persons to this particular person, titles written by this person, title written about this person, and more. Roadmap, we are going to send the roadmap document in the next weeks. And in 3 weeks from now, we will have the roadmap session, 2 sessions, of course, per your time zone. We will be happy to see you there. That's it. I think we covered everything for February release. Any questions? Okay, I see questions over here. 1 second.
All right, Seema, would you like me to read out the questions for you? So
can you have multiple different showcases, or is only one available to use at a time? You can use more than one showcase carousel. It depends on you. You need to provide a new query to embed it separately on in an HTML in your website. But yes, you can have multiple different showcases. I have a question about sharing resources in the network. Can we set the parameter to share digital resources in the network ourselves in the customer setting? I guess the question is having can we set the parameter to share digital resources in the network? You will be able, I assume you're asking if this is a parameter that is exposed to customers. I think it is. If that is the question, I hope I got it correctly. Or if I think it is open. I hope I got it correctly. If not, please correct me in the chat. I'm pretty sure this is open for customers, but I can verify. I will write it down and will send an answer afterwards. A question about registering domains for the Primo Showcase. Do we need to wait after registering the domain before the showcase is available, or is it easy? It is immediately. No need to wait. Okay, great questions. Any additional questions?
yes, Seema, we have several questions in the Q&A section. So if you want me to read those out for you in the meantime. So
can you post it in the chat maybe? Well, because
no, I'll read them out to you, no problem.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so the first question we have is, how accessible is the carousel widget, the showcase?
How accessible?
Mm-hmm.
It is from our point of view, it is accessible. You mean accessibility matters?
I believe so.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, it is accessible. It is important to note that every website looks different, and the size that you will select for the carousel may be different. So it's up to you to design, to change, to modify the CSS according to your needs, according to the website. It should be accessible, but of course, every site should be seen separately. In May, where is the link data information being pulled from? The link data is being taken from, the link data is the person entity at this stage, and this will be taken from the Library of Congress and enriched with Wikidata information.
Okay, Seema, I'm going to continue with the Q&A questions. We have several more here.
Okay.
Is the showcase feature accessible with the 508 compliancy was another more technical question, but I think you responded to that as well. The next one about the showcase is whether it works with existing collections.
Sorry, Ren, maybe you can put it in the chat. It will be easier for me to follow.
Sure. It's just we had asked the people to post. All right.
I'm trying to see the
I'll drop them into the chat for you.
Does the showcase feature work with existing collections? Yes, the showcase works with any query that you would do in Primo. Does the patron consent message work with auto? Oh, sorry, it's jumping because of the amount of questions. Where was the last one? Does the patron consent message work with automatic linked account registration as well, or only manual registration? Only the manual. The pop-up will be shown only on the manual registration. When a patron comes, would like to submit a request in Primo from an item from another institution. The next question is the release notes list of labels that will allow HTML just the new labels that allow HTML, or is this the complete list? The list that you will see in the documentation for the HTML labels is the list that we enhanced in this release, in the February release. The next phase will be similar amount of labels, which will be released in the second half of 2024. The next question is about registering the domains. Can we use wildcards? In the example, we see a full path of a page. Can we also just put in the domain? Regarding the wildcards, I would definitely need to check it. I will check it and I will get back to you. If you forget to not auto-enable, we can still turn off quick links once they appear, correct? Of course. You can already turn off the quick links. The real effect will be on May, but you can turn off the customer parameter of the quick links. No worries. You can do it in any stage. You can turn it on at any stage whenever you feel convenient to do that. If we already have quick links enabled, will anything change with these coming updates? Nothing will change. It will be seamless for customers that will already have quick links live. Will you still be providing a PDF like you usually do for past what's new? If so, when will it be shared? I know that Nili used to share PDF with you. I can definitely share it with you in the next days, sure. For the quick links, is the new auto switch quick links parameter replacing the view level? That's a good question. Or will continue to be able to control the display? That's a good question. That's why until now we had a parameter that enables the quick links on view level in Primo and Primo VE. From now on, we're taking it a layer up. We're taking it to the institution level. So this is going to replace the existing view level parameter. You will, in case currently the institution level parameter is enabled, but it will not take effect until May. On May, we will be quick links functionality will be based on this new parameter. How will compound subject headings be handled in the CDI subject normalization process? For example, United States. Okay, Amy, maybe this is a question for you.
Thanks, Seema. Both to the person who asked this and another about complex subject headings for further down in the Q&A chat. I'm going to take those offline because they lend themselves to a little more verbose discussion than we probably should do during this session. So I will be in touch with you via email.
Thanks, Amy. Question about person card. Will we be able to select which persons to enable info cards for? Person entity is an entity that we took from Library of Congress. At first phase, at least, we will not be able to hide and present to have a definition for which persons to display and which not. It will be the whole functionality altogether, which of course can be disabled or enabled. By default, it won't be enabled. Configuration and enabling of unpaywall, sorry, it jumped again. Okay, configuration and enabling of unpaywall links versus quick links is separate, correct? The release notes mention unpaywall links, but I didn't hear mention of them in this webinar so far. Okay, I will need to check it. I will need to check the behavior with the unpaywall, and I will get back to you.
I can jump in here, Seema.
Great.
Configuration and enablement of on-paywall links is different than quick links, correct? The new on-paywall collection support was released with the November release. I will be happy to send information about that to this questioner. And yeah, just be rest assured on paywall and quick links are two separate configuration options. So we will get back to that.
Thanks, Amy. Does the institution need an SMS provider to use the option for notices? We didn't create here any new functionality with SMS. The thing that we created now in Primo is the ability to control this indication if a patron will get the SMS messages. I think this is a prerequisite in Alma notices via SMS, but I'm not familiar enough with the Alma aspects. This is not new functionality, meaning if you have SMS provider and you're working with it, then great, but it will not change anything. It will not send new SMSs that weren't sent until now. It is just the indication in Primo whether the patron would like to get the SMSs. It indicates the indication from Alma, sorry. Is the implementation of the linked data person cards going to be optional? I don't know how much our users would want that. Of course, linked data person entity is going to be optional. You're not obligated to use it. Another question about person card. If current card is based on Wikidata, is there a plan to enable other sources in the future, including possibly local sources to highlight local persons? That's a good idea, the local aspect of the person entity. Currently, it is based only on Library of Congress enriched with Wikidata, but we will looking into it. For us, it is the first phase. This is a totally general release. We feel comfortable with it. It is ready and it is going to be released. But however, we will definitely be looking into other directions for sources for the person entity. Will AI be discussed during the Primo roadmap session? Yes, indeed, AI will be discussed. It is in our roadmap. We have already plans for AI solution. That's another reason to join the roadmap webinar. When the quick links functionality is auto-enabled in May, will customers have the options to opt out? Of course. You already have the option to opt out. That's why we released this customer parameter now in February. From February until May, You can test it to check it. If you don't want at this phase to use this functionality, you can just turn it off. You can already do it. You don't need to wait until May. And whenever you feel comfortable with going live with quick links, with enabling quick links, feel free to do so. In the documentation, Japanese Americans.
I would just add to the last one that customers that want to go live with it and turn it off later is available as well. You can disable it later as well, Stan, to close that.
Thanks, Israel. In the documentation, Japanese Americans' alcohol use is considered a normalized subject because both parts also have individual authority records in the LCSH. But Japanese American forced removal and interment is not considered a normalized subject because both parts don't exist separately in the LCSH. However, both the former and latter subjects exist as complete subject strings in the LCSH, so both should be normalized subjects. The CDI vocabulary should include complex subjects too. Amy, do you have any comments about it?
This is another one that I'll take offline with the questioner. Thank you.
Thanks. Has the Primo VE showcase widget been tested against the WCAG 2.1 AA? Yes, we did test it. It was tested, but again, when you change the showcase, similar to any component that you change the styling of in Primo, it will need to be examined separately, the accessibility considerations. About registering the domains, can we use wildcards? I think we already had this question. I will let you know about the wildcards in the domain. I'm not sure about it. For auto-enable quick links in May, we have browsing. Can we suppress quick links? Of course, you can suppress quick links. You can keep using. It's your decision. Israel, do you have any comments about the browsing versus quick links?
I think again, Primo allows you to have both. I think they complete each other. There are content that is supported in quick links that might not be supported in libkey and vice versa. We know of some customers that have both. I believe there is a setting on the browsing side whether to show the quick, in case that you have the duplicates, to show both the duplicates or only show one. There are definitely going to be cases where one record will get only quick links and another record might get only libkey. Like Sima said, it's up to you to kind of weigh them and see, can they complete each other? Do they both work for you? And do you prefer one? But they can both be activated.
Okay, great. I just noticed that I didn't share with you the chat screen, so I apologize. I'm sharing it now. To add for the question about HTML in labels, the labels that already supported HTML earlier are not listed. You mean the labels that were already supported HTML are not included in the release notes, I guess, in the documentation. We can analyze. I need to see first what we need to analyze it and see, and maybe we can provide the list of the labels that already supported HTML tags. Good point. How does the person entity compare to the previous promote author card? I apologize, I'm here for 2 months, so I assume, Israel, you will know better than me about it.
I think a few things, and just to recap for those that weren't here in the last round when we tried to release it, it's something that we tried to release earlier this year. I think it was in the May release. We perhaps were a bit naive with the world of linked data, where you can just in time call any system that you want, and it proved to be very problematic. It proved to be problematic with All the services that we wanted to call couldn't necessarily withstand the load. There were performance issues, and that's kind of the primary reason that we had to go back on our plans back in May. What we did now is what Seema explained, is we built ahead of time. So just in case, we built the list of the persons based on Library of Congress. We enriched them also, already kind of pre-processed them all and held them within our database. And then when the user wants them, we're basically calling our own service. There are still elements that we're calling just in time, such as the image and such as some of the information on the person page, but building this in a completely visionary linked data where any system can talk to any system and you don't have to hold that kind of didn't really work in the real world. It's a great idea, and I know a lot of linked data is being talked about, and it works in many elements. And we actually have customers that built similar info cards already today, but it was their one customer, one library, calling out these systems. When we come as a provider that has thousands of institutions that are going to be calling a Library of Congress or Wikidata for everything, that didn't hold out. I can say that because we kind of solved the performance issues, because we're calling ourselves, there are more fields that we're displaying now than we had planned at that May plan. That didn't happen. So it's actually stronger than we had in May, but again, because of this kind of change in architecture that we went through.
Thanks, Israel. Sal, maybe you can assist with the next question. Author card implies corporate author included. What about person entity?
Where's the next question I'm seeing? We go to I think I have the Q&A, not the chat.
What, sorry?
I opened the wrong, can you read the question again? Author card implies.
You're not saying.
Yeah, no, I've got it.
Author card implies corporate author included. What about person entity?
It's basically the same list. So basically for every, we basically have this one index based on Library of Congress that is basically the backbone for the info card and the author page or the person page. So the same list of persons or units or as mentioned here, corporate names. If it exists, it will exist in both.
Thanks.
If it doesn't exist, it won't exist in both.
Thanks. Info card, will there be other options than Library of Congress at a later stage? Yes, that's what I mentioned. This is our first iteration. We see it as ready and we are releasing it. It's a great basis. The planned person entity for May. Library of Congress is indeed currently the source enriched with Wikidata. We will be looking into additional sources. Are the following features on by default? Request patron consent when registering at another institution. I need to, you're asking if the default customer parameter, if the default behavior, I think it has a customer parameter. Let's see it in, I guess I put it in the slide.
The first one is for all. The consent, I think, is not configurable.
Mm-hmm.
The other two are not activated by default, so nothing is changing. The display holdings level, I think you mentioned, Seema, that is not enabled by default.
Yes.
And also the SMS, I believe, is not enabled by default.
Yes, the SMS is definitely not.
So only the request consent is something that, again, it came from customers, and they rightfully convinced us that we should show a consent. So that will be, again, for consortia using fulfillment network, they will now see a consent. You can go in and configure the labels, of course, but that is something that is coming out.
Thanks. What impact will the new quick links parameter have on existing JavaScript settings that incorporate other links, such as libkey? Israel, what should be the behavior with additional links such as libkey?
Again, it's a question about really any functionality that comes out. So again, we will be adding the quick links where we intended them for them to be. If there's any customization, not even if you have any customization that dealt with that area, I definitely recommend that you take a look at it. Specifically with libkey, there is a setting, I believe, in libkey to tell it how to interact with quick links, whether to be in addition or instead, or not to appear if quick links appear. Just in general about this, I do recommend that, again, between now and May, again, as Sima said, everyone who is enabled in this parameter will be active in May. You don't have to wait for May. You can go and test this. You can test this. It's still at the view level. There's also sandboxes. So you can test this, if anyone has libkey or any other provider that is using this area, take a look, see what it does. You don't have to wait for May. If you test it and you like it, just go live and nothing will happen to you in May, the same as the 700 customers that Sima mentioned before that are already using it. So you don't have to wait for May. The reason we're doing this is, again, we know that many customers are very happy with quick links, and many customers don't get around to testing stuff or don't read the release notes and the guides and never activates things. And this is something that we believe gives a lot of value. Of course, those that don't want it can, again, disable it now, like Sima said, or later on after May as well.
Thanks. If we deactivate the quick links in auto switch quick links, will the view level activation still be possible, or is the view level setting going away? In May, we will be basing on the institution level parameter. This is the change here. We will not take into consideration the old view level parameter. So in May, it will take effect, and the quick links functionality will be based on this new institution level parameter. We will not be considering the view level parameter. Okay, it seems that this was the last question. Well, anything else?
This was the last question also on the Q&A. I see we do have one more question popped up for you on the chat.
Okay, I see another one. Not for everyone, just me. I'm new. Where can I find support to get up to speed, mostly with Primo? I'm with CSU Consortium. I don't know how to find it. Sorry.
We can. I think in the release notes that came out, the email that Sima sent out, that kind of sums up the links to the documentation and the training and the release notes. I think that might be a good place to start, but feel free to reach out offline as well for any other pointers. And thank you for asking. I'm sure there are others out there as well that didn't ask the question.
Thanks. And Jenny, feel free to reach out to support team as well if you have a flow that you are not managing to complete or any issue. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining, and thank you for these great questions. See you in the roadmap webinar. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.